All right. Um, why am I doing this on Zoom? Because I have no other way to play this, and the way that I have it, it just won't work. So Bernie, um, and I was supposed to have a guest, but oh well, can't show up, but I'll do it anyway. Bernie Sanders was on with Krystal Ball. We've talked about her and Sagar and Jetty all the time. They were on Rising. Now they're on Breaking Points. Go ahead and check it out. It's a good show, great show. But Bernie Sanders was on with Krystal Ball, and it was a bullcrap interview. She threw a bunch of softballs at him, like he was on a girls' softball team or even a guy softball team, and he just, Krystal, this would I think. And it was a pretty stupid interview that he gave, but he still squirmed even at some of the answers or the questions that Krystal Ball was asking. So let me go here. Actually, all right, let's see.
Wow. So given that all of those metrics have gotten worse, and given that our former president seems very interested in running again, do you think he could get reelected?
Sure. Look, I think you have, and this would be a whole other longer discussion.
Yeah.
You got many millions of people who are working longer hours for lower wages. They are hopeless about the future. Their kids are not doing well. They're turning to drugs, to alcohol, even to suicide. They're going nowhere in a hurry. Somebody's got to talk to those people. Somebody's got to talk to those people.
No, nobody needs to talk to those people. You need to stop talking, Bernie, and you need to start acting. You're such a cuck. The thing that the government needs to start doing, because the people have been talking enough, all right? But the thing that the government needs to start doing is doing shit that's going to help people. That's what the government needs to do, not this whole, we need to talk to people. Yeah, they're turning to drugs, they're turning to alcohol, they're turning to racism, they're turning to sexism. He's going to get into that. Why are they working more hours for lower wages? I wonder why. Maybe it's because Bernie and the squad haven't done their damn jobs and haven't forced the damn vote. Let's continue with his bullcrap answer.
And I think the Democratic Party has not done a particularly good job in that. I hope if I ever...
You haven't done a good job either. Yeah, the Democratic Party has sucked ass, but there's a reason there's a reason that they haven't done anything. There's a reason why they haven't done a good job, Bernie. It's because they're corrupt. They are corrupt for a reason, Bernie. But you haven't done anything, Bernie. You haven't said, hey, we need to do something about this. The Democratic Party needs to do something. No, but Bernie, you're not doing anything either. You're not doing a good job, Bernie.
The damn time, and we can pass this bill to actually get out into Trump land and to start talking to working class people. Because when people are frustrated and angry, they turn to bad things. I mean, that's where racism and sexism and homophobia and xenophobia rear their ugly heads. And what we have got to do is say to those people, look, there is a reason why you can't afford to send your kid to college.
Because Bernie Sanders, won't help you afford to send your kids to college. Because Bernie Sanders, won't promote my own bills and won't do anything as the budget committee chairman, to make sure you can send your kids to college. Okay, make sure you say that, Bernie.
There is a reason why the rich are getting richer and you're getting poorer.
Because you're letting it happen. Because you have not promoted the 2-cent wealth tax. You haven't promoted a marginal tax rate. You keep allowing these nominees that Joe Biden keeps appointing to these positions in his administration to go through. You never hold them up. You never block them. And all you do is give them softball questions in their confirmation hearings. That's all you do, Bernie. That's actually all you do. You don't do anything else. Why are the rich getting richer? I don't know. Oh, I know. Bernie voted for the largest upward transfer of wealth in the history of the goddamn human race. That's what Bernie Sanders did. He voted for a $4.25 trillion package that went to the rich. And you got a crummy little ass $1,200 package. And then Bernie voted for more tax cuts and bailouts for the rich when he voted for that $600 check instead of that $2,000 check. And then Bernie Sanders allowed you to get even more poor by not demanding a universal basic income, by not demanding $2,000, by not holding up the vote. That's why the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. That's why, because Bernie Sanders is letting it happen. All right.
Let's talk about what those reasons are, how we can create a nation that works for all of us. And you got to be involved in that. And in Trump, what people don't talk about, you may have noticed, Trump has held some rallies recently. Huge turnouts for a non-campaign moment. So is he a potent threat? Yes. And we have got to think long and hard about how we reach out to those people, many of them, not all, some of them are going to be racist, and frankly, you're never going to reach
Nothing
them.
you can do about it.
And that is really sad. It upsets me very much. That is a reality. But not all of them are. Mm-hmm. You've got to give them some hope. You've got to give them an alternative. And I don't think we're doing anywhere near enough now.
Yeah. What alternative are you going to give them? What alternative are you going to give them, Bernie? Hey, vote for Joe Biden. He's not going to do anything for you. There's no alternative in the goddamn government right now. You got Republicans, and then you have like pretend Democratic Republicans. What alternative are you giving them, Bernie? I correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't understand what alternative you're giving them. We're still bombing Syria under a Democratic president and under a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate. We're still bombing. We're still in Libya. We're still in Somalia. And we're bombing Somalia, one of the poorest places on earth. We did it under a Republican. Oh, wait, Trump reversed that policy. We're doing it under a Democratic administration. We're still bailing out the rich. We're still giving permits to drill in the Arctic and on federal property. We're still adding billions to the military budget. Nothing has changed because Joe Biden promised that nothing would fundamentally change. Joe Biden promised it, and Bernie Sanders is fulfilling that promise. We'll give you an alternative. What? An alternative party that's going to vote for the same shit that the Republicans did? Hey, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. We're still doing air raids. We're still bombing Syria. We're still imprisoning whistleblowers under a Democratic administration. Barack Obama and Joe Biden prosecuted and jailed and imprisoned the most whistleblowers out of any other president, including Trump. And Joe Biden is still doing that. They just prosecuted Daniel Hale, and I'll go over that. So what alternative, Bernie? What alternative are you giving them when you've not passed health care or anything else? All right, here we go.
What this bill is about, this crumpled piece of paper. This is the legislative language. You got it?
Let's laugh about people not having a livable wage. Krystal Ball should have shut that down immediately. Okay.
What it's about is saying to those people, you've given up on government, but you know what? We have not given up on you.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. This government has given up on its people. You have given up, Bernie. You don't even mention Medicare for all. You mention access to health care. That's what you mention. You don't mention the fact that people don't have health care anymore. You don't care, Bernie. You don't care. And that's what's sad about it. This government has given up. You've given up. And the squad has given up. You don't force the vote. You don't block it. You allowed Joe Biden to give $735 million to Israel when they were killing Palestinians. You're right. You were doing that, Bernie. You allowed that. And then you introduced a resolution that was, too late to do anything. There's no alternative in government.
We know you can't afford to send your kids to college. You're going to be able to do that at least for 2 years.
At least for 2 years. I said 4 years on the campaign, but I'm taking orders from Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer, who are telling me that they're not going to give you more. We can give the military $750 billion. We can give Jeff Bezos $9 billion and allow him to buy MGM Studios and James Bond. We can approve $10 billion for him to have a lunar lander on Mars or wherever NASA wants to send it. We can give him money to have a Joy space ride. We can approve money for Raytheon like that. We can give money to Wall Street like that. And there's no limit. But Bernie Sanders is limiting how long you can send your kids to college. Only 2 years are going to be free. So you're still going to have student debt. You're still going to go into, you're probably going to remortgage your house to be able to send your kids to college because you want them to have a better life than you did. And Bernie Sanders is okay with it. Bernie Sanders only wants your kids to go to school for 2 years for free because he's a cuck and he's not demanding, as the budget chairman in a Democratic majority Senate, that we give him 4 years. You see how big of a cuck he is?
You can't afford childcare. You can't afford teeth in your mouth. We're going to address that. Is that all that we have to do? No. Is this an important step forward in order to restore the faith of millions of people that their government can work for them, not just, billionaire campaign contributors?
So why do you help those billionaire campaign contributors? You shit face? Oh, we need to restore the faith in people in government. You have not even done that. Where's our universal basic income, Bernie? Where's Medicare for all, Bernie? Why weren't you at that Medicare for all march, Bernie? You didn't go to the one in Vermont, in Burlington, Vermont. You didn't go anywhere. You didn't even go to the one in DC. Cori Bush went and she said it doesn't matter, that this is not the right thing. Restore faith in government. You see this flowery language? This is what Joe Biden was saying. And do you have a living wage? No. Do you have health care? No. Do you have jobs? No. Did you get kicked out of your house this weekend? Millions of you did. Millions of you did. And guess what? Joe Biden doesn't give a F about that. Neither does Bernie. All this flowery language for nothing. And he knows he's lying. He knows he's lying. And that's what's effed up about it.
That's what this is about.
All right, so that's what that's about. This was a terrible interview. Krystal Ball, it was all right. I want hard-hitting questions. I want Jackson Hinkle. I want Jimmy Dore. I want someone like them to interview this son of a bitch, because Bernie Sanders is giving up on the American people. Now he's talking about access to healthcare. Last thing I'll say, the squad has never forced the vote. Now they're fighting on this infrastructure. They're pushing one that is bullshit anyway, right? But they never fought for the minimum wage. When it came to the COVID bill, they didn't force the vote on the minimum wage. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said, oh, we can't force the vote on Medicare for all because we need to keep our powder dry to vote for something else that's going to win, like the force the vote for the minimum wage. And what happened? We asked them to force the vote on the minimum wage. They didn't even fucking do it. We asked them to force the vote on Medicare for all. And Bernie Sanders never even spoke about it, never even endorsed it. Democratic Socialists of America, that's on their goddamn manifesto. They didn't even join in on it. They didn't do it. So when Bernie says, well, the government, you think the government has given up on you, but it hasn't. It hasn't. The government has given up on us. And so have you, Bernie. You're a cartoon of a leader. You're a cuck, and no one believes you anymore. Because all you do is you take orders from Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer. And it's time you start getting your balls and using them for once. This is why I say don't ever vote for the Democratic Party. Ever, ever. Don't vote for them because they're just going to let you down.